Hello everybody and welcome to Judge Mathas, and today on trial stands Sunless Sea. This game was kind of directed to me by a few of my associates, I guess. You know, Northern Lion, Bear Taffy, a few people have been checking it out and have basically said, Mathas, you should check this game out. And they were right, this game is definitely worth taking a look at. It's real difficult though, I find myself, to try and describe what Sunless Sea is. It's an interesting combination of a few different type of genres, and from what I've read and what they have planned, this game is poised to be really great. It is kind of a mix of an open world sandbox survival game with a heavy focus on story with some roguelike elements. That's really complicated way of talking about how this game is played, but really it's so hard to kind of get across what this game is about. So I guess the best thing, as always, is to jump in, kind of show you what the game is, talk about it, and move on. Now, again, as you can see at the bottom, this is an early access. This is an early version of the game. I'd say it's almost, from their roadmap, it's almost halfway done. It's not quite halfway done yet, so still very early in development. But what they have here is an interesting and very cool idea. Interesting is a good word for it. So let's jump in and we'll start a brand new game. And what happens, basically, the world you're in, just to kind of lay it out for you, from my understanding, is that something happened that collapsed parts of the world, and now London is underground and is kind of bordered by this underground ocean. And there are real heavy kind of Lovecraftian elements in this game. Lots and lots of really creepy things. Creepy and moody is a good way to describe this game. And that's really where this game focuses itself. The Lovecraftian worlds are really heavily dependent on a good story. And the first and foremost thing this game is trying to do is tell a good story. So right when you start a new game, you are creating your character, kind of determining who you are. You have a few things you have to choose. First, you have to choose your past. Where did you come from? Where did you go? Where did you come from? Cotton Eye Joe. So these are your choices as of right now, this early on. Are you a street urchin, a poet, a veteran of the campaign of '68, an ordained priest, or a natural philosopher? And they each come with their own kind of cool little backstories. For instance, if you're a veteran of the campaign of '68, you fought the invasion of Hell. London's armies lost, you survived, your loot and your pension have bought you a command. So again, they say Hell attacked or whatever in '68, I guess. Again, it's kind of an alternate history. But outside of a cool little story that comes along with it, they all give you perks. So if I was to be a street urchin, I'd get better, a bonus to my veils. Basically, it's during combat, it's harder for the enemy to spot me, which we'll talk about combat later. Combat's kind of an interesting mix of FTL and turn-based and real-time stuff. It's interesting. For instance, though, if we get a poet, they'll give us bonus pages, the skill of trickery and knowledge. It's kind of weird. The skills have weird names, but at least they explain what they do. So having a veil skill is higher subtlety and evasion. Having a page's skill is trickery and knowledge. Having a higher iron skill causes I do more damage. Having the heart skill is more healing and morale for my crew, which we'll have to manage. And, of course, the mirror skill, which is detection and perception. I'm going to go with, let's go ahead and go with street urchin. We were a street urchin. Now, when you pick your class, outside of getting a bonus, it also determines who your first member of your crew is, your first officer. So being a street urchin will give us gunnery officer Longshanks. A Longshanks is a recent graduate from the urchin gangs, but where did she learn to fire her cannon? So we get her, our first officer. We get 25 in the veil skill, so we have a total of 50. We get 10 echoes, which is, from my understanding, the currency of the game. And basically a background of you were a street urchin, now we're a Z captain. Z is kind of short for C. And then your stranger quality is gone, so we're no longer a stranger. We have picked our past. Next thing we have to do is pick up what our kind of determination is. Do we want fulfillment in just learning about the lore of the world and what's going on in the story? Do we want wealth? Do we want to be, rich? We were started out poor, now we want to be rich, have wonderful houses and stuff. And then there's 3 locked ones, which is interesting because, again, they all kind of aim to tell a different story. Where'd my father die and where'd he go? Establish a settlement where you're absolute ruler, a private kingdom. Or uttermost east, find what lies beyond the map's edge. So all these are locked as of right now because these parts aren't implemented. So we'll go ahead and we'll say we want fulfillment. We want to learn about the story of the world. What's going on? So we got an occurrence here. Ambition quality has now become London's most venerated explorer. How do you want to end? How do you want it all to end? This determines how you win, although you can always just retire in London for a draw. So there is, I guess, an end game. So we'll go ahead and hit continue. So now we pick how do we want to be addressed. We can be called Madam, Sir, Citizen, My Lord, My Lady, Captain. I'm going to go with Captain. Easy enough. And then we get to pick our portrait. Let's go with the classic Captain portrait and type in our name. We got all kinds of different portraits if we want. I like having like a jester one or well, that's like a Cthulian hat one kind of. Some weird assassin-y ones. Some cool portraits. The game is incredibly moody. It has got an awesome, awesome kind of ambiance to it. It really does. So we'll go ahead and hit accept. And that's the beginning. Welcome to the world. So this is our ship right here. And the graphical style is incredibly basic. It's a 2D top-down game. And from listening and reading what the developers intended with it and why it's like this is because now they don't have to divert so much of their Kickstarter success, which they did, to graphics. Now, granted, it still looks good. I actually really like it. But when you kind of focus on a top-down thing and you're not focusing on this, incredibly detailed 3D world, you can now pour your resources into story and choice and all these other things. Think of Neo Scavenger. Neo Scavenger is not a wonderful looking game, but because of that, it is an utterly detailed and rich game based on choices. And that's kind of the same thing here. Because they're small developers, they don't have necessarily the people to work on all things. So what do you do now? Well, this is London right here. We are in London right now, and you can't really see much here. But we are a sea captain, and we have multiple different things we can do. We could just launch our ship and go exploring and check out the islands nearby, which are all very, very possible. We can always go check out the islands nearby and see what's around. All the islands have, from my understanding, randomly generated stories out of a number of obviously pre-written ones, and we'll have more as things go on. And all the islands near London are set, and the map as it stands now in early access is a set map. But the update that they're planning at the end of the month, everything past the main islands will be randomly generated every time you play, which is a lot of where the roguelike ideas come from. And those islands will have randomly generated stories and monsters on the sea and all this other stuff. But for a sense of accomplishment, for a sense of goal or something to do during this video, we're not going to do that. We can click London down here, as you saw, and we can kind of take a look at things we can do. So if we wanted to, we could go to the Admiralty's office and get a job from the Admiralty, which is kind of like the leaders here for sea people, I guess. And they can give you a job. We could go to the university and see what's going. And we could sell things to the university eventually, but we don't have that. It's locked right now for a reason. We don't have a secret to give them. We could carouse in Wolfstock's docks, which basically will only help us if we have terror, which I'll talk about the UI here in a minute. We could hire more crew, which we're actually going to do. As you can see at the bottom of my portrait, it actually shows how many crew we have right now, and we have 8 out of 10. So let's go to, right now, the hire more crew. Let's go see what we've got. We need 30 echo at least. So let's go ahead. And your tall tales find a ready audience. Scarred and seasoned men and women tramp aboard and find places to sling hammocks. We've gained 3 crew, 11 total, which is interesting because we can only hold up to 10. We lost 30 echo, and we succeeded because basically we got the amount of people that we got is determined by how high our skill in hearts is, and because of that we did well. So we filled up our crew nicely. What else do we got? Well, we can hire more crew with the locks. We're full. We can put our ship in dry dock for repairs. Offer passage to tomb colonists. A clutch of immigrants will pay to be taken north to Venderbite, which we might do, or we can just cast off and be done and explore. Well, for now, let's go ahead and just offer passage to tomb colonists and take them north. So, it's oddly difficult to die in fallen London, but when a Londoner is too tatty and wretched to live, they wrap themselves in bandages and take ship for tomb colonies. Your crew cart these ones aboard in padded coffins. They'll sleep there until the journey is done. The tomb colonists are in your hold. Take them north to the colony of Venderbite and sell them there. Interesting. So they're not actually dead, but they want to kind of go somewhere to die. Again, really creepy. Creepy is another really good word. The writing in this game is immaculate. So that's going to be our goal for now. Perfect. So let's go over the UI real quick before we cast off. So up here, we have our fuel. Basically, the fuel kind of burns away as we putt along. And if we wanted to, we could stoke the fire with more of to use more fuel to maybe gain like a little bit more speed or something. But if we stoke our fire too much, the engine could burst, a fire could take hold on our ship, and crewmen could die. We have our hunger meter. We have enough food to feed them for a few days. And then we have our terror meter. This is basically going to go higher and higher depending on where we are on the map, what we encounter out there. Because this is a very Lovecraftian-inspired world, there are horrors out there that will drive our crew mad, to the point of them disappearing overnight, having a mutiny, attacking other crew members. That's where some of the survival aspect comes in. We kind of have to manage this terror meter, because if it goes too high, our crew will just go insane and destroy things, or just basically doom us. So we have to manage this by coming back here and going to the wolf stack docks to bring the terror meter down, and there will be events as well that will bring the meter down. Over here is our speed, so if we are going fast up to a notch 2 or a notch -2 to go in reverse, and then our hull's health. We have our hearts. This is our skill points, basically, as they are. Our officer, our mascot, who gives us a +1 to our hearts, apparently. He's also has done some weird things in the past, but I'm not going to say it just in case it happens. All right, so with that said, let's launch. So the controls, pretty simple. WASD, we can kind of turn with A and D. We can hit W to kind of bring our speed up, S to bring our speed back. There's no fast travel system in the game, so it's all about the exploration aspect of looking around and checking things out. As you're going off to sea, you will come across combat, and we'll show you how that combat goes. But right now, we're heading north. We're looking to bring these men to Vander something or other, and that's our goal. If we actually go ahead and take a look down here, we have all kinds of things we can do. We could turn off our lights. It's important. Lights are important to kind of manage. The reason lights are important is because though it does give you vision, it also uses up fuel and gives away your position. And giving away your position against more and more dangerous boats is terribly bad. And boats will come after you and try and kill you. We can try and repair the ship, which doesn't really matter right now. We have full power if we wanted to crank it all up. And, oh yeah, by the way, if we don't have the lights on, the terror meter starts ticking. That's also important. We could also pause the game with space, take a look at everything else. We could take a look at the chart of our map, which is important, and then just general options. So, let's head north. We also can hit the Z button and send out our scout bat. He'll basically go to the nearest island. As far as I can tell, he'll go to the nearest island and kind of report back and tell you what's there in this little log over here. These bats? I don't really know what that's about. I've never seen those before. All right, well, we might see some combat right away. It's a bat swarm. Here are the little cousins of night. Come to tear your flesh and drink your blood. Don't let them get close. Already your crew will cry out in fear. So we have two options. We could fight them or try and run. Right now, it's a high-risk challenge to run because our mirrors is low, apparently. Gives us a 15% chance of success. So we're going to go ahead and fight. We might as well show you how the combat works. So the combat, this is combat. I say FTL because of the way it's kind of presented, but it's a lot more turn-based than that, I guess. It's hard to describe. It really is. So what we have here is a few options. We're currently paused right now. We have our crew and our hull, and then they got the life of them. If there was a boat, it'd be their hull and their crew as well. We have to do a number of things. So here's our attack options. We have our devastating salvo and our regular salvo. Now, all of these have requirements. In order to do a salvo, we have to have illumination 50, and for a devastating salvo, an illumination of 100. They also have warm-up times. As you can see, 5 seconds for this, 7 seconds for this. Now, in order to illuminate them, we can use any of these three. First, we could do Seek, which is based on our mirrors skill, or we could fire off flares. The flares typically illuminate the enemy a lot easier. They also illuminate us a little bit, but they also eat up our fuel. So it's kind of are they going to wreck us? Do we need to see them first? We also have evasive options, and we have some miscellaneous options like emergency repairs and observe, which we only can observe when we have an illumination of 25, but observing them gives us information about them, gives us secrets and stuff. It provides us useful stuff. But for now, let's go ahead and just use our Seek button. We'll go ahead and hit space, and as it seeks, it'll start ticking down. Now, if we want to, if we want time to stop, we have to pause the game. Once we unpause our first move, it will go until you pause again, if that makes sense. So we can queue up to 3 actions. So we'll queue up an extra Seek and see if we can catch them. So we are observing them a little bit faster, but I don't know how long before their attack would actually hit us. So let's kind of go. So they're at illumination 50. I'm going to go for one more, and then I'm going to launch a regular salvo at them. So they're at illumination 84. And hopefully we'll actually do some damage here. We were able to do a decent amount. They're actually almost dead. So we might be able to kill them off before they can do anything. They're actually illuminating us a ton. They're dead. They weren't even able to do a damn thing. All right. And then after you kill somebody, you have options. If we were observed them enough, we would have had, we could have recorded observations about them. But we can do two things. We can gather up the corpses. They are succulent with stolen blood into the pot, or dispose the corpses. Their mere touch leaves you shuddering. This will slightly reduce terror. So this could just provide us some food. Our terror is not high enough where I'm worried about it, so we're actually going to go ahead and gather up the corpses. You can see our food went up by 1, and we gained some supplies. So that's good. All right, let's go ahead and pop this up and continue heading north. So it's a very slow game, too. That's something that's important to note. It's a very slow game because you're kind of out in the sea and you're exploring, but that's the point. And we got more bats. Damn, that's annoying, but we'll fight them. Let's go ahead and fight them. They're not actually that difficult. Let's go ahead and illuminate them. Double illuminate. Yeah, so as I was saying, while we go through this combat, it's a very slow, it's a very methodical game. It's really meant to kind of immerse you in this creepy world. And the more you're out at sea, the more dangerous it gets. So that feeling of anxiety as you are exploring more and more starts to set in. And because things are slow paced, I find myself getting more and more anxious to get and dock somewhere the longer I spend out there. And it's an interesting feeling, but I like it. I like it a lot. It's kind of a cool game. I really am enjoying it. And I can see it being pretty fucking entertaining, all told. So let's go ahead and actually do a couple of observations. So they're going to go ahead and disperse. They're going to dramatically reduce their illumination, which is not a big deal because it's still over 100. So we're going to go ahead and a couple, let's see. Where are we? Mathas observation +2, now 6. And Batstorm's illumination +5. So our observations are not going so well. So we're going to go ahead and do a devastating salvo after this. And maybe just kill them off. They are still above 100, which is good. Let's go ahead and maybe finish them off. We'll see. I just want to learn more. Like, they just keep dispersing. Which is fine. They're not really doing much. They're still above 50, so my regular salvo is going to be more than enough. And we'll kill them off. I don't think we were able... Oh, we can. You've gathered enough. You may learn something. So let's see what we can do. Batflocks do not attack on the surface. They rarely attack in the neath, which is what I assume we're under, in the neath, like underneath. These bats were as aggressive, as disciplined as a battalion of Janissaries. Again, lots of really Lovecraftian words will be here. Where do they lair? Who trains them? You've gained 5 fragments, so we have fragments. Scrap of lore. Discover monsters and locations to gain fragments. Gain enough fragments and they'll combine into a secret, which is what we can sell off. All right, so we actually got that, and now let's actually reduce our terror a little bit. It didn't do that much, but that's fine. Our crew is wary now, so let's continue on. Bats are a bit annoying. So again, the map as of right now is small. It's not that big of a deal. Oh, we almost... I don't know if that boat was, like, coming after us. Now, is there, like, a journal? Do we have... What are we looking to do? I forget the name of the place. That's what I'm looking for. Officers... Journal. Stores await when you make port, so something awaits us when we go back. Our men are a little bit wary. They'll pay their passage to the tomb colony, sell them there. So they see us, whoever this is. So we've got Carissa's Point. Let's go ahead and crank up the engine a little bit. And the Horseman's Stag. I really don't know what these are. Let's go send our bat out and see where it's... I don't really know what the bat's supposed to do. Grand House rises over. Can I actually dock here? Doesn't look like it. We can dock up here, it looks like, though. Maybe this is where we're supposed to go. I mean, we are pretty effing north. Let's see where our bat's coming out there. He says, on no undiscovered islands within the Z-Bat's range. Which is fine. So again, you kind of manage, you can manage how hard you can turn depending on how fast you go. So let's dock. Ah, this is the tomb colony. On deck, you can hear the sound of 1,000 bandaged dead make as they shuffle and cough. So we can explore right now. We can have a dusty glass of wine, explore, gather gossip. Isn't this where we're supposed to go? So we can't do this because we don't have enough money, it seems like. But we need a minimum. Other things, you know, the higher the terror, certain other things unlock. So you're locked away from doing certain things if you don't have enough terror on your ship, which is kind of weird. Which I assume this means it just lowers terror. Let's see. We can explore. They favor candlelight over gaslight. The shadows are swagged like cobwebs. The tomb colonists stand still enough to be mistaken for sculpture until they laugh or cough. One building in 3 seems abandoned. Unlocked learning. So unlocked when something awaits you. So let's go here. On deck, you can hear the sound of 1,000 bandaged dead make as they shuffle and cough. It's something like blah, blah, blah. Here they favor candlelight. Yep. At the twisty tip of an odd little side street, welcoming yellow light glows from the gilt-lettered windows of a restaurant. A sign reads, Vengeance of Jonah. A beefy tomb colonist bustles up. A gray mustache pokes impertinently out from under his bandage. Come in, come in. So I lost 1 terror, which is good. You'll find a story when you next make port. You now have 1 learning about bandaged poissonnier. Poissonnier? I assume is how you say it? Okay, nothing else I can do. Everything else is locked. We could recruit him, but we don't have the ability because we don't have enough to pay him. We could get a cook, though. That'd be cool. Getting a cook, I'm sure, would help with morale of the troops. Offer a strange catch, which we don't have, and sample today. So we have nothing we can do here because we don't have the money, essentially. It's a cramped little place. And this is, by the way, help me. All I see is just a tutorial on how to play the game. What else can we do? Who's plotting what out of the tomb colonies? Along the coast of the Untersee, which is like the land, I guess, that's underneath. They use that word a lot. It's remarkably hard to die. The decrepit and nearly dead who leave London become tomb colonists and settle here in bandaged peace. But they do not give up their ties to home or their politics. You gather a haul of complex clues enough to keep your contacts in London interested. Okay. Well, let's take a look at our hold. This is what we're supposed to do. I don't know what we're supposed to do with them. Shops. Hollow Temple. Do you have tomb colonists? Drop them off here. Ah, okay. So this is what we got, like a list of things we can go to. So let's go here and sell off tomb colonists. We gave them passage. There you go. The image of a long-snouted reptile god still stands in the temple, but now storytellers gather here, share your memories, and profit. Or here are the solemn bandaged merchants of the colonies trade old coins for brighter things. So we can go sell things there for money. So we made 75 echoes in the Hollow Temple. Let's take a look. We could buy stuff here, essentially. Recent news. Nothing, nothing. Looks like they more care about buying things here, from what I understand. Like, we'll go to here. We could buy supplies and fuel here. So if we need to refuel or get supplies, we can actually do it here if we need to dock up. All right, well, that's that for here. Let's start heading back to London and seeing what we can do. And again, we could just go off and do whatever we want. I'm just trying to show you the idea of some of the things that are here. Let's actually go to an island here and see what we can find. See if there's anything worth checking out. There's a lot of things that have just happened. And there are, of course, random happenings that have happened every so often that, from what I can tell, have to do with the old gods. Again, very influenced Lovecraftian stuff. And if that's something you like, that's pretty cool. Let's see what this boat wants. Ah, here's a random occurrence. A chunk of grit baked on your ship's biscuit. You crack a tooth and curse. Your crew chuckle, but when the object turns out to be a diamond, small and badly flawed, but a diamond nevertheless, they all hush. Diamonds are sacred to stone, one says. Give it to the Z, Captain. It'll be luck for us. So what we can do is we can hang on to it. You're not going to throw a diamond in the Z, which is also known as the sea, to appease some nameless god of Zaylor's superstitions, or do the careful thing. Zaylor's pray to stone when they want home, hearth, and healing. She's the kind of god you'd want on your side. So again, there are different kinds of gods here that you can do things to appease. Let's go ahead and just throw it in. So we lost 5 terror. You now have the stone's attention, which is interesting. And you now have one stone, storm, and salt, which are the 3 main gods as far as I understand. Pride of stone when they want home. The diamond glints as it reaches the apex of its arc. Down, down, and a wave reaches to take it. All right. Well, we appeased one of the gods in some way, hopefully. 2 bats, that's annoying. Let's go see what this guy wants, though. I'm really curious what this is all about. Lightship. Its clear bright beam warms the way. They long for news from home. We don't have any recent news for now. So if we bring it recent news, we could do something. Can we actually hide from them by putting our light out? Looks like we can. Let's just light up. I don't want the terror to go ridiculous right now. And it looks like we can outpace them pretty quickly. So if we open up our chart, we could take a look. Again, the red line marks kind of where the limitations are. And again, as of right now, the map's really not that big. Are we actually gonna get attacked? We are. Let's attack them. Should be easy. Let's go ahead and illuminate them. Do a couple illuminates and then start launching salvos at them. It seems that the regular salvo actually ended up doing more damage than the other salvo. 26, 27. Ooh, they actually illuminated me a little bit better. Again, my mirror skill, if it was higher, would actually illuminate them more. We'll do one more. Actually, we'll get rid of that. And just do a regular start salvoing them. Should kill them in 2 hits. Again, they haven't really attacked, so it makes me wonder if when they do attack, are they super dangerous and they do a ton of damage. Boom, dead. Nice and easy. Let's go ahead and gather them up. Gaining some supplies in the process, and here comes the next round. Yep. Nothing we can really do. Let's go ahead and illuminate them. Potent flares actually use up the fuel. This does not. This just illuminates me a little bit. So we can go ahead and illuminate them a little bit faster with flares. 25. It's faster, essentially. Double salvo should kill them off. Nice and quick. Much easier this way. Boom. Nice and easy. Once again, I'll take the food for the crew. One of the fun things is fighting ships, too. If we can ever... I don't know if we'll be able to fight a ship at this episode, but the options you have with ships are really cool. Like, you can staff it with a skeleton crew and send the ship back to port to make more money, or you can just straight up sink the sucker and, you know, just take immediate ramifications, especially if you don't want to lose some of your crew. That boat's actually gaining on us really bad. Let's actually show you. Let's go ahead and actually just wait for him to catch up. Come on, bud. Waiting on you. I want to show the rest. And he turned around. Typically, when they get close to a main city, they turn around. The pirates, the bastards. Oh, we bumped into that. So here we are, back home. It's wonderful. It's welcome back to London. And we'll pop in here for a spell. And load up and show you a couple other things if there's anything here. If things randomly generate here. So we'll dock up. So what we got? We can collect some message from the Harbor Master or a Breath of Release. As soon as the blank, we can't actually do this because we don't... So if we are super high terror, we can actually lower our terror quite a bit by this. But right now, all the clatter and song on the dockside, it soothes the soul. Are there messages for you? Let's find out. Let's see. That's all there is for now. Something has changed in the north. Your time at Z will change you. And London. Interesting. Someone wants to sign on. Interesting. Yes, this guy popped up for me last time, too. A very fine evening to you, Captain. So he basically gives us a job, and these will pop up, that may or may not be very reputable, but says that if you do the job for his boss, the boss would basically owe you one. Again, an option that tells a story. And again, this game has excellent writing. It's all about telling you a really good story. Your own personal story. I mean, you can go here and take a look at different things that you've done, obviously. We actually have our own lodgings that you can go to, and you can read the papers, which gives us recent news. That boat would really enjoyed that. We can rest in a room to personally, you know, bring down the terror by a good amount for money. All kinds of stuff you can do from your lodging, right? The Song of the Z. So this is basically, I think, the final winning condition for our captain. But I hope this video gave you a really basic idea of how this game plays, because what's here now in early access is fun, and I'm really enjoying it. I'm going to really look forward to the update that brings a randomized map, because I think there'd be a lot of replayability there, and there's a lot of stuff that I could do with this. In fact, I really can see a series happening on this game in the future. It is a really cool kind of sandbox storytelling mechanism, I guess is the way I want to describe it. I don't know. It's a unique game. It's a very unique and very cool, atmospheric, wonderful concept. And I suggest you check it out. It's 20 bucks or your regional equivalent on early access right now on Steam. The link will be in the description below. If you don't want to pick it up now because it's still a little too early for you, I would suggest to keep an eye on it though. It seems awesome. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed what you saw. If you did, make sure you hit that subscribe button to get videos like this every day. And consider dropping a like. It helps me out a great deal. And as always, I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.